Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am Dr. Franco Taylor, and I just want to say to you that it's just been a plum pleasing pleasure listening to my daughter deliver such a powerful motivational message as always, okay? I think she does that in her sleep. We thank God for her. And again, I'm Dr. Franco Taylor. Let me just make sure that on this, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. We can hear you just fine.
Hear me fine? Okay, very good, very good. Again, I'd like to thank God for giving me these 70 years on the planet. Last year I turned 70, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful ride for me. 40 years of being in what I call natural health as a naturopathic doctor. I thank my wife. I know she loves me. I tell you that all the time, simply because she allowed me to deliver our children at home. My children who supported me, and all of my Sanki partners and friends out there, and even the guests on the line today. Again, I'm Dr. Franco Taylor, and 40 years I've spent working with all natural ways of being well. I design products, the whole 9 yards. I've worked with losing weight, gaining weight, high blood, diabetes, even cancer, and full-blown AIDS, and I've watched it turned around thousands upon thousands of times. I did not say I healed anyone. I understand the principle. I understood it 41 years ago, and that is that the body heals itself. That's why I was so excited about the Sanki company, the first company that I've seen in 40 years that does something. And what I prayed for was that a company would come along, that God would send a company that literally spent its millions of dollars and all of its research in developing formulas that would help the body heal itself. Because I recognize that God does the healing. He gave us an immune system with trillions of white cells, lymphocytes, phagocytes, T cells, B cells, helper cells, the whole 9 yards. God gave us this that would actually destroy and wipe out any germ, any virus, any disease. It didn't matter what it was. Even cancer and AIDS does not stand a chance in a body where the immune system is strong. But something happened, and that's where we're going to go to. So now, we're going to look at why Sanki, why now? Why Sanki, why now? Simply because we're at a time where children between the ages of 2 and 12 literally are obese, okay? They're having high blood pressure, heart attacks, diabetes, whole 9 yards. I mean, just sick, sick, sick. At a time when parents are actually burying their children, just upside down, it's around and it's backwards. But if you see at the bottom, it says that Sanki is to be the vehicle in the world through which you can live in health, empowerment, and wealth to achieve sustainable happiness. On our next slide, we're going to see something else. We're going to see why this product, how these products became about because of Aging Secrets Revealed. Our founder and Dr. Bahia Diaz, excuse me, basically, Dr. Ruth Ann, am I visible on the screen?
I don't see you. I think only your picture is visible at the moment, unless it's on the other camera. Hold on, let me see.
I can see him just fine. We can see you, sir.
Okay, okay, I see you now too.
Yeah, we see you, but we don't see the slides, but we see you.
Okay, I can see now. All right, just wanted to make sure that I was seeing.
What Dr. Bahia Diaz did, he literally, okay, the screen is gone.
Yeah, we can see you just fine. We just don't see the PowerPoint,
Okay,
but we're okay if we don't
if
see
you
the
see
PowerPoint.
the screen, the PowerPoint.
Yeah, we don't see the PowerPoint, but we see you, sir.
Okay, good, good. I'm visible now. I need the PowerPoint back. If I have
if we don't have it, it's okay. We enjoy listening to you talk. We're good.
Okay. Bottom line, Dr. Bahia Diaz saw something when he looked at the centenarians in Japan. There were over 70,000 of them, okay? And these 70,000 people were living to be over 100 years old. And he looked to see why was that so? Well, it was based on the fact that they had a lifestyle in their culture, the Asian culture. First of all, they didn't shake hands and hug folks in public, and they didn't wear shoes in the house. So they did a lot of things that would have kept and did keep, I think, COVID-19. Because remember, in Japan, as we looked at that thing, they only had about 80 people to literally die in this pandemic or endemic. That's something to look at. But bottom line, he saw that they also ate fermented foods. That's the bottom line. So what he did 50 years ago, he sought to create outside of the body what happens inside the body. When the body digests good foodstuffs, it creates metabolites, it creates enzymes, it creates antioxidants. And so what he did was he created a fermented cold process of taking things like olive leaves and rosemary and green tea. And in the fermentation process, he created these metabolites that would help the body do what it needs to do. Basically, what do metabolites do? Metabolites do three things in our bodies, three important things. Number one, they help to what? To literally give us energy. We need energy. We need the thermogenesis, so to speak, for whatever happens in the body. All the processes in the body require thermogenesis. And that is exactly what this product does to begin with, is it creates that energy in the body, metabolites. The second thing that metabolites do is they basically rebuild, repair, if you've got tissue damage, so forth, so on, and they help us to grow and to make more of what the body needs, more tissue, more cells, strengthen the bones, the muscles, the joints, the ligaments, the tendons. All that happens because of the metabolites. Metabolites have a third job, and that is to clear out the mucus, clear out the nitrogenous waste, all the morbid, putrid material that has to come out of the body. It flushes it out at the microcellular level. So bottom line, he did this, and these are the products that we'll talk about in just a minute. But here you see that this is what that metabolite, or what you see there says the vitametabolite, the generation of vitametabolite. It simply does what? It helps the body to reach what is called homeostasis. It's in what we call automatic pilot, AUTOmatic. It runs on its own. It self-regulates. It knows how to get up. It knows how to go to sleep. It knows how to jump when you need to jump, or stand still when you need to stand still. Your eyes blink, your arms move, your toes wiggle when at just a thought, and it's all because of the body being in homeostasis, where it can self-regulate and even heal itself. Next slide. Now we're going to look basically at our products, okay? And we're going to talk about those. Then we're going to go to the main product, and we're going to give you a slide demonstration about the power and the efficacy of that product. But we're going to start with Hasaki. Hasaki basically is our meal replacement, and it has over 596 of these metabolites that I was just talking about. Over 5,000 milligrams of metabolites from the cacao bean that has been cold fermented in each serving. The patented process is called Bovia, but what it does is it increases the intestinal diversity of the microbiota, which is the smallest power cells and the majority of the power cells in the body at the microcellular level, inside of the mitochondria. It causes them to literally spread out the mitochondria, I'm sorry, not the mitochondria, but the flora in the body. The microbiota actually open up, and they can receive more of the nutrients that are coming through, okay? And because of that, it increases this absorption of even protein by up to more than 20%. The polyphenols from the fermented cacao increase blood flow to the brain. That simply means that the neurotransmitters work better. You get the synapses popping like they should. Your brain is hitting on all 8. It's sending messages to the muscles, messages to the nerves. It calms you down. You're not angry. You don't have the ADD, the ADHD, the depression, and so forth, because good blood flow is going through the body. Leviticus 17:11 tells us that the life of the flesh is in the blood. And that's what it does. It improves with brain transmission, a better brain function. The neurotransmitters work. It stimulates the production of testosterone, men, and it promotes hormonal balance, women. And it causes that thermogenesis again in the mitochondria, which increases the energy of the body at the microcellular level. The next product we're going to look at is we're going to skip the Belage and go to the Inner 7. Inner 7 is basically purified seawater that comes from over 321 meters down in the ocean. That's 3.5 football fields, folks. And it has all 60 of the minerals that the body needs, especially magnesium. It has excess of magnesium, which is the second most needed macro mineral in the body. All cell activity require an abundance of magnesium. And it helps with demineralization because it's putting the minerals in that the body normally uses. And the lack of these minerals causes things like migraine, headaches, kidney stones, high blood pressure, diabetes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It helps the body to reach what we talked about a minute ago, 7.5. Many products out there, formulas and supplements say that they cause the body to reach 7.5. But no. The body knows how to reach its own balance. It will do it if you give it the right things it needs. And Inner 7 and Belage are part of that. They help the body to do what? Reach its own balance of 7.5. This prevents bone loss and demineralization in the body. It promotes blood circulation, again, at the microcellular level. This helps to reduce stress factors. It is absorbed immediately into the intestines, improving intestinal flow, which means within 20 minutes of taking it, you can start feeling like those bowels need to move like they haven't moved in a long time. And again, it, like the Belage, basically increases energy in the body. Next, we're going to talk about the Quinui Fire. The Quinui Fire stimulates decreased absorption of carbs and sugars. In other words, your body stops holding on to all these excess carbs and sugars. These caramelized fats and starchy situations are no longer absorbed and held into the body. How does it do this? By what is called thermogenesis. You notice this keeps coming up. All of the products, all the formulas, all four of them are designed to create more thermogenesis, more burning, which is what we don't have, and therefore it helps to eliminate fat tissue. At night while we're sleeping, that is when the body normally stores excess fats and sugars. That's the chronobiology, because of the body clock. And it does that because you're asleep and the body can work like it's supposed to. But part of why our clocks are off, our body clocks are off, is because of the way we eat. In the morning when you wake up, that's when you should have your largest meal. Why? Because your body, you've been asleep all night, your body is on fire, it's ready to go, your engines are pumping. Then at lunch, you're starting to slow down. That would be your next largest meal. But at night, when it's time to go to bed, the body is tired, it needs rest, then you're going to eat a nine-course meal. That's upside down, folks, because now your body's got to try to put you to sleep and try to literally digest the food at the same time. So what happens? You're working all night long, and remember, your digestive system starts at your mouth and it ends at your anus. That's the largest organ of your body. That's from here to here. 26 feet of a small intestine, 7 feet of large intestine. That's 33, 34 feet of doo-doo. And the body's trying to work it out. And there you've eaten all this food and it can't do it. So you wake up in the morning, what? Tired and hungry. But because of the homogenesis, because of the thermogenesis from the green tea and the turmeric and so forth, the body goes through this thermogenesis. It begins to burn and destroy these fats and sugars in the gut while you sleep, and they never make it into the actual bloodstream. And so you wake up in the morning with your sugar level down, your blood pressure down, and guess what? Your waistline going in. So again, because of thermogenesis, these excess caramelized fats and sugars and starches are not digested and taken into the system. Instead, they're burned up, creating immediate energy, and then they're taken out of the body. So again, you wake up in the morning without the excess fat, without the blood pressure being up, without the sugar level being up. All right, so now we're going to go to our Belage, folks. I don't know if you've ever seen me do it. I don't know if you can see me now, but that is called the Sanki Storm. That is the storm. Sanki is the product. Sanki is the company that designed this wonderful formula, and it's called Belage. Belage, basically, each dose of Belage has over 14,000 billion nanoparticles with nano antioxidants in them. And these antioxidants are needed by the body for all of its functions and for its healing itself. Orozad enzyme 5 is the patented process. And when I joined with the company back in October, it was Orozad enzyme 3. So they've improved the patented formula twice since in the last 6 or 7 months. And it is a patented blend of super antioxidants made from rosemary and olive leaf, which have what is called camasic acid. And what camasic acid does, it allows the body, for every 4 free radicals in the body, one antioxidant molecule of the Belage literally can destroy 4 of the free radicals in the body. So one of the good guys destroys 4 of the bad guys, okay? I'll make it simple every time. So again, the Belage, like the Asaki, has over 300 of these metabolites needed for the body to help increase energy and mitochondrial function. And what this does is it causes insulin resistance to go down, where the body can begin to use the insulin to break down the starches and the fats better, and therefore lowering the incidences of type 2 diabetes and obesity. It increases hydration at the cellular level. It boosts energy production by improving mitochondrial function. And with its advanced delivery system, it literally delivers active ingredients, especially to the immune system, to the specific sites where they're needed in the specific amounts, okay? And so again, it increases the activity of all the enzymes in the body with its nano antioxidant, and it improves the liver's detoxification capacity. In other words, the liver can get rid of poisons and toxins better. Therefore, it increases brain power, and it reduces cell damage. In other words, it decreases the speed of our growing old, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to go to slides that are going to show the efficacy of the Belage against all viruses. Are you listening to me? We're at a time where the COVID-19 situation has us wiped out. People are afraid of this thing, and they should be, because it's serious. You're talking about a virus that's been around for thousands of years, folks. It's nothing new. Most of the diseases that we have, if you've heard all these theories about where it came from and da-da-da-da-da, but we got to think about where all of our diseases have always come from. They've come from animals. You got to remember that. The chikungunya, the swine flu, chicken pox. Listen to me, folks. All the diseases basically that we have come from animals. And so this one basically has been traced back to the bat. How did they know that? No guessing, no theory. They can literally look into the blood, and they can see the genes of the blood tell them exactly where this virus came from. And it came from a bat, jumped into humans because they were eating these things, okay? They were eating bats like they do in Asia. All kinds of animals and all kinds of viruses from these animals are mixed all together in these markets where they buy them. And someone in doing that literally received this virus that has grown and evolved, and it's gotten to the point where it outdoes all the antibiotics or any other formulas or that they can put to it. Why? Because they're trying to destroy the actual virus. You don't do that. The body is designed to destroy whatever, because just like the virus has lived for thousands of years, our bodies have lived longer than that. And our bodies have evolved with an immune system that's evolving to literally be able to destroy whatever comes into it. The God's body literally has gotten to the point where it's strong enough to do that if we give the body what it needs so that the immune system can be strong. So let's look at why Belage has this efficacy in its ability to work against viruses. Antiviral activity of Belage. During infections by a virus, or say influenza, the natural killer cells, NK cells, are activated. These are immune cells that actually detect that the infected cell is inside of the body, and they activate what is called cytotoxicity. They send out lots and lots and lots of immune cells that literally have poisonous materials in there that can be actually shot into the targeted cells. So let's look at the diagram 1. You see the little red thing there on it. It looks like an eyeball, okay? But you see that it has attached itself to one of the viral cells that it has detected in the body, and you can see it spewing into there all this antiviral or cytotoxic material that can destroy the virus cell. Now, healthy bacteria then has been established to be a crucial, I'll take another drink of water here. Thank you. I always do that in situations like this because you all looked a little thirsty. So I drank us some water, okay? Thank you. But again, it detects the infected cells and it activates this cytotoxicity, sending these trillions and trillions of white blood cells into the body to find the viral cell and then spew into it poisonous, toxic material that will help it to destroy itself or to be imploded. So again, this healthy bacteria has been established to be a crucial regulator of immune cell response and function, particularly in NK cells. In other words, good cells attack viral cells to get rid of them by having them to self-destruct or implode. And that's what you can see at the bottom side of figure 1. So Belage promotes healthy immune system function. And on our next slide, It says antiviral activity of Balaj. In case of any infection or virus, example, the influenza, it enters into the cell and it uses the host cell machinery to produce viral protein. What is the host cell material? That's all the stuff that's in your body. And in most cases, we have so much putrid, morbid, dead, rotted material from all the animal products, the rotted flesh that we eat, all the sugared product, the processed products. So all this waste is in the body. And remember, a virus is basically a parasite, and it's abnormal. So it has to live off of something abnormal. And so all the stuff in our body, it takes it and it uses it to create a protein that it needs in order to exist. This allows the virus, again, to reproduce itself. In other words, it becomes like we become a copy machine and help it to make more of those viral cells. So to produce the viral proteins, an essential enzyme or viral enzyme is needed. It is called the protease 3C-like or 3CL. So Balaj actually inhibits the protease 3CL. So let's look at it. On the diagram, we see the little green of the first cell, we see a little green. That green is actually the virus that has taken over that cell. And then you see 3CL inscription there with a dotted line coming down to right before the green viral cell. And so imagine that it's there, but that is the enzyme. Once it's got the enzyme, it can produce the viral protein, which is the red protein there. And once it's got this protein, now it has the energy, the strength that it needs to do what? Replicate and duplicate. So next to it, you see another cell that is split. It is split and become two cells. It continues to do this until it takes over the body. So again, the host cell literally gives it what it needs in order for it to replicate itself. So it needs this enzyme to do that. But Balaj inhibits the protease 3CL. It stops the body from being able to, the cell from being able to create it. Then it cannot make the protein that it needs or the sac lunch that it needs to take with it, okay? And therefore you see in the bottom figure 2, you see that the green is getting lighter. That means that it's disintegrating, it's dying. The 3CL is not there. And therefore the protein, the red protein, it's not able to make this protein. You see it disappearing. And what is happening there is that without the viral protein, the cell dies, it implodes, it self-destructs. So again, Balaj inhibits the protease 3CL, preventing the virus from replicating itself. In vitro testing, that simply means on volunteers, human subjects, not in a lab, not lab rats. These are actual tests on human beings or trials with human beings. Sanki tested Balaj against several viruses. The enzyme 3CL-Pro is necessary for the production of functional proteins by the virus, like we said. The proteins needed for replication were not produced, but white cells instead were produced. The Balaj in the system will prevent the production of viral cell functional proteins. Therefore, Balaj inhibits the viral cell from using 3CL-Pro, and therefore it won't replicate. We see on the diagram on the left-hand side, we see viral protein production and the duplication of viral cells. You have all these cells because they've been able to produce the enzyme and therefore produce the protein. And now they're just developing, having babies and more and more and more and more of them. And so they're taking over the body. But on the right side, we see that the individual has been imbibing or taking in the Balaj, and the Balaj actually inhibits the 3CL production. So you now see the cells beginning to improve and beginning to recover, reverse, and restore themselves. And the others are actually just destroyed, disintegrated, and pulled out of the bloodstream and into the urinary tract or into the bowel system, and they're removed from the body. So with the presence of Balaj, we saw the inhibition or the stopping or the halting of viral cells by over 83.9%. That's 84%, folks. And there's white paper to prove this. This is just part of the white paper. These are diagrams that have been simplified enough for you to be able to get it, okay? Because if you saw the actual diagram, it would be nothing but scientific. Only a doctor would know what to do with it. But again, Balaj inhibits virus reproduction in the cells. Next slide. In vitro testing. Balaj, basically, the double-blind placebo studies were done. And what they did was they took 200 men and women between the ages of 38 and 52 years, and they recruited them and asked them to either consume 1 stick of the Balaj or 1 stick of the placebo every day from December the 1st, watch this now, December the 1st, 2019 to March of 2020. That's just a couple of months ago, folks. Occurrence of influenza A, influenza B was diagnosed using nasopharyngeal swab and recorded. Gastroenteritis was diagnosed when at least 2 symptoms present, such as nausea or vomiting, diarrhea or fever were present. So what happens there is we look at the diagram and we see influenza A, influenza B, and gastroenteritis. Balage reduced the impact of influenza A by 50.5%. Balage reduced the impact of influenza B by 67.8%. And Balage reduced the impact of gastroenteritis by 46%. Influenza A, 50.5, influenza B, 67.8, gastroenteritis, 46%. That's an average of over 52-53% on all of the major viruses. SARS is not on here, but it was one of the ones that was done too in the original white papers. You can see that. So that means that the body has the ability to destroy and wipe out any virus with a substance like Balage in it to increase the immune response to the point where it can do what God intended to do, and that is for the body to heal itself. And on our last slide, in vitro testing again, blood samples were taken in patients from Balage group and the control group. Cytotoxicity of the natural killer cells was assessed at the beginning of week 1 and at the end of week 4 by measuring the lactate deshydrogenase released from the target cells. In other words, they looked at the poison, they looked at the residue, and they saw that the power and the efficacy of Balage was to the point where it could actually slow down the viral onslaught, and it could increase the immune system by over 39.8%. That's over right at 40%. But there was no significant change in the immune system response of the control group. So what did it prove? It proved, folks, listen to me carefully, Balage increased the efficacy of the immune system. The immune system actually responded. It strengthened. It grew in the direct response to taking the Balage into the system. All right. So again, the question is asked that I might ask is, what basically is a virus? Let's talk about what is a virus. So a virus is a biological agent that reproduces itself inside the cells of the living host. In other words, it is a parasite, folks. So it is not even a living organ, it's a parasite. So when infected by a virus cell, a host cell is forced to produce thousands of identical copies of the original virus at an extraordinary rate. So the body again becomes a copy machine. Listen to me, listen to me. So what is an NK cell, a natural killer cell? It is one of those immune cells that we saw that grew and responded and replicated and duplicated itself because of the presence of Balage, and they are activated in response to infections or interferons, and so the macrophage literally can go about doing what it needs to do. It creates more of the T cells, lymphocytes, phagocytes, which means large eater, and these are produced in the trillions. So again, what do viruses do? Let's talk about that for a minute. We've been told that it affects the respiratory system. You get fevers, you get cold, flu-like systems, fever, joint, muscle pains, urinary tract infections, and lungs. But I've had a talk recently with a gentleman who's one of the top virologists, infectious disease persons on the planet. And he says, not only are we're wearing these masks, but you know this thing can actually come in through the eyes. It's now being passed on through the semen because it's taken over the urinary tract, the female and male reproductive organs. Folks, this thing is so powerful that we've really got to be serious. And they're getting lax now, not wearing the mask. I say to you, Linda, my wife, has been on me to go on Facebook and tell folks, I know we've got all these things going on. We're opening up America again, but folks, put your mask on, keep them on. Don't put them on halfway, put them on, keep them on, and protect yourselves, protect yourself. One of the ways of protecting yourself, of course, is to take the Balage. But again, how many viruses are there out there? Scientists by the name of Stephen Moore says there are over 20 different viruses in each of the 50,000 vertebrates on the planet, yielding over 1 million viruses. But a new study says that at least 320,000 different viruses exist. I've been shown and told by this doctor that I talked to that there are over 40 strains of this new COVID-19. So folks, we've got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves. So again, the Belage, this wonderful formula, 50 years in existence with all of its nano capability, which means it's so small and minuscule that the body doesn't have to digest it. It goes straight through the microcellular walls, and it goes straight through the blood-brain barrier into the cells and immediately begins to cleanse, strengthen, excite them, cause burning, flush them out, and cause the immune system to get to the point where it can once again destroy anything that comes into it. So now, that's a little bit about us. Let's just talk about, let's see here, what has happened. Okay, I'm on my phone now. Somehow the computer went out. But the bottom line is we are in a position to literally help you with some of the other problems that you might be having. So we're going to open up now for questions that you might have. So if there are any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask the question that you might have.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do it help with bones, the bones in your body?
The bones?
Yes.
Okay, again, all of the products are designed to help the body to strengthen by the metabolites, what I said earlier, which help the body to produce more bone, more muscle, more tissue. That's what it's designed to do. But the inner seven specifically has minerals, because of most bone problems, arthritis and so forth, arthralritis, all those have to do, in most cases, with a loss of bone or degeneration of the bone. And with these minerals that are in the inner seven and all of the metabolites that are in the Hasaki and the Belage, you can literally start the body to rebuilding, the bones to rebuilding, replenishing themselves and strengthening themselves, and cleaning out some of the debris like the atherosclerotic plaque. You can clear that out, and it begins to, again, move smoothly. You get your range of motion back.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Tina.
Good morning to everyone.
Morning.
I have some questions about, in reference to that last statement you made.
I'm getting a lot of feedback. I really can't hear.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes,
I hear
we
you
can.
better now. Yes.
I have a question when it comes to bone degeneration, because I've already been diagnosed with osteoarthritis and spinal stenosis, and I'm on a protocol of statin drugs that I presently use, and I'm just trying to get a little bit more information with respect to when you have a diagnosis, that how far along would you have to be in that condition for the inner seven to affect that or not affect it? Because, you know, there are different levels of degeneration, and there is a point almost of no return. And I'm just curious about that, because obviously I would want to look for ways to come off of the statin drugs. But I need to know, in terms of building, in terms of pain management, in terms of getting better, at what point that the inner seven, effective in a situation, and are there situations where the diagnosis is too far gone or too far along for the inner seven to help?
Okay, you've asked a question with 3 or 4 heads on it, and somehow it sounds like you've been told that maybe what you have is not helpable. It can't be helped. It can't be reversed or turned around or whatever. So hope, first of all, is important. You got to believe that God created a body that, as long as you're living and breathing, your body is trying its best to heal itself. If you got cut, you don't have to do anything but go on about your business. And that deep cut, the pus and so forth will come off. It'll start to scab. The scab will come off. It'll be a little pink, and then it'll go back to the color of the skin. It does that on its own. These trillions and trillions of white cells in the body are doing their job, and they do that. It doesn't matter what you're breathing, your body is going to try to heal itself. So I don't want to put N.7 or Sanki or any of our products in a box that they're going to heal. We can guarantee. But the key is, remember, your question is a medical drug question, but the answer is food. See, when would you need food? Would you need food before, during, or after radiation or chemo? You would need it during, so that you could do what? Be strong enough to even take the onslaught of the radiation and chemo that you may need. So what we're talking about here are foodstuffs. We're talking about food, folks. When do you need food? You need it all the time. And then when we're talking about foodstuffs or plant-based materials that literally are efficacious to your immune system, that are going to rebuild your immune system, that are going to feed the system, that are going to create energy, when you're talking about that, you need them immediately. It is never too late for them to start working in your body. Now, to what degree you're going to get healing, it depends on you. If you eat more live foods, because you can't allow the Sanki system to do everything. You've got to eat better. That's what we talked about in the beginning, and that was that what Dr. Bahia Diaz saw was that these people in Japan were eating good foods that were fermented, foods that were living, foods that had lots of antioxidants in it, food that had lots of metabolites in it. And so what the system here, the Sanki system, has taken those metabolites and they put them in a form where they can be readily identified and accepted by the body and used immediately within 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. So it is never too late. It is always on time. And when you get started, that is the day you should start. Immediately, the body will do all it can to heal itself. And of course, you need to drink more water. You need to get a little exercise in. You need to get your rest, your sleep, your sunlight, your fresh air. You've got to do some things. But yes, the N.7 and the Blage, the whole Sanki Fit system is necessary when? Yesterday. So yes, you need to get started today so the body can have what it needs to do what it knows how to do, which is to heal itself and to repair, reverse, and recover even bone situations.
Adriana, you had yourself
Hope that answered the question.
Go ahead, Adriana, just unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Franco. Thank you, all of you guys, and good morning. Mr. Franco, I have a client of mine that I've been treating for a little while now, but now she has diabetes. I tell her not to say she has diabetes. That's for a reason. She experiencing diabetes and high blood pressure, but now normally she was seeing from an 8, which is a very good thing for us, but now she's down to a 3. So I'm not sure if I should suggest to her either N.7 and Blage, but I would like to find out because she has some swelling in the back of her eyes that was tested. So she wanted to find out, she asked me to ask you if it's okay for her to get the N.7 and the Blage for her, if it's good for the sight also.
Okay, again, the questions are being asked mainly because we've been taught to look at medicine as healing us. But we've got the whole idea about the Sanki Fit system is that it works with God's body because God's body knows how to heal itself. So we have to remove the problems that are causing the high blood pressure and the diabetes. And one of the main causes of both of those is actually the same enemy. It is basically fat, okay? We know that fat or cholesterol in the bloodstream causes the blood not to be able to get through, and that builds up the pressure. But what we don't know is that sugar diabetes is not sugar diabetes because of high sugar. It's because of the fact that an individual with diabetes, if they urinate on the ground, the ants will get all on it because the sugar is in there because it's not getting into the system, it's staying in the bloodstream. Why does this happen? in the University of Detroit, I believe it was, Department of Medicine, they ran a research trial, okay? And in this trial, they took 20 strong young men, very, very athletic, and they put them on a 65% fat diet. Listen to me carefully. This is important, all right? 65% fat diet is like the standard American diet. Get it, SAD, sad diet. Lots of fat, 3 or 4 drumsticks, 2 pork chops, a steak and a half, just lots and lots and lots of meat at every meal, okay? And all that cholesterol over a period of 12 weeks, guess what? 70, let's see, I'm sorry, all of them were diabetic. All 20 of them were diabetic. That doesn't mean they were falling over, going into comas. It just means that their numbers, their levels literally showed that they were diabetic. So now to make sure that they were on par, they took 20 more young, strong young men, and they put them on a 15% fat diet. That's the diet that I'm on. I've been a vegan for 40 years. I get my fats from avocados and maybe a few olives and so forth. But the bottom line, they were on a very low fat diet, but listen to me carefully. They gave them 1 pound of sugar a day. 15% fat diet, low fat, but high sugar, pound of sugar. In 12 weeks, guess how many of them were diabetic? Not a one. In 6 months, guess how many? Not a one. They chalked the experience at 9 months because they couldn't force them to become diabetics on a low-fat diet with high sugar. Here's what happens. When sugar enters into the body, the brain tells the pancreas to secrete insulin. The insulin goes to the site of the sugar to try to get in to do what? Dissolve it, but it can't get in because something is on the insulin receptor. Guess what's on the receptor? Cholesterol or fat. So the same thing that causes diabetes is the same thing that causes high blood pressure. Most people with high blood pressure, after a few months or a few years, they will have diabetes. Most people with diabetes, after a few years, they'll have what? High blood pressure. So they work together because they're basically caused by the same thing. So if the person begins to back up off the animal products, off the fat, so off the milk, all the things that cause all this acid, butter fat, all these fats in the dietary, back off of that, eat more living foods, and then, yes, they can start taking the Hasaki because the Hasaki is going to give them the metabolites that they need. It's going to help to flush out and burn. The Crenu is going to help to burn up the fats and the sugars and the starches at night while they're asleep. And the Belage is going to flush out the cells, give them energy. So the whole system, the inner 7 is going to give them the minerals and so forth that they need to help balance and rebuild the tissues. And so, and even the capillaries behind the eye, the reason for ocular degeneration or diminishing vision and so forth is because the tiny capillaries behind the eyes are plugged up. But the Belage literally has the ability to clean out even these microcellular cells, those little small cells inside of the capillaries. And actually, when you take the Belage within 20 minutes, we have a microscope, and I must have moved it for a second, but that microscope will show you the capillaries stretching out, circulating more blood, so even vision will improve, eyes will improve once the blood is getting the circulation. So the whole product system is designed to increase circulation. That's going to make the blood pressure better. That's going to help remove some of the sludge from the arteries and the veins so that the diabetes can get better because the sugars and so forth are being reabsorbed and burned up like with the Crenu. So the whole system is designed to help them with diabetes and high blood pressure and or both. So there's no magic, but the system is designed to help the body to heal itself, which is what it will do, even in the case of diabetes and high blood pressure.
Thank you so much, Dr. Franco. We have 2 more questions that have been sent in the chat. One of the questions says, how should a person take the products who has cancer and presently receiving treatment? And then the question after that, because I know a lot of the answers are similar, the next question is, what about a person with sickle cell disease? So cancer with someone presently receiving treatment and someone with sickle cell disease.
Okay. Again, we're talking about food. We're talking about plant-based situations that give the body the things that it needs to do the fighting. One of the problems with cancer is that you have a low immune system, okay? Even AIDS. What is AIDS? AIDS is AIDS. What does that mean? Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. It simply means that the immune system is down. If the immune system is down, what do you got to do? Build it back up. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about ballage that literally helps to send out trillions of white cells into the body to go and begin to work and destroy, as the body is designed to do. No magic. The body is designed to destroy anything that it detects in the body that doesn't belong. So where they are now, what stage, it doesn't matter. Right now, they can at least start the body doing what it was designed by God to do, and that is to work even against cancer. It can start eating up the cancer cells, the gang of the cancer cells that have taken over the body. You come in with a bigger gang from the body because you do what? Give it the antioxidants that it needs. Give it the metabolites and the enzymes and the minerals that it needs. It can grow to the point where it can overtake even cancer. I've seen people with cancer get themselves well thousands of times. So yes, right now is a good time for them to start taking the Sanki Fit system and allow the body to have the things that it needs so that it can start reversing, recovering, and restoring itself even from the onslaught of cancer. And when you're doing cancer and you're taking radiation and chemo, those not only destroy bad cells, but they destroy good cells too. Every one of you out there got common sense to know that that is true. I'm not making up something. So if it's going to destroy good cells and bad cells at the same time, it just makes sense that you need a formula in your body that has been proven to rebuild and to fight against. White paper proves scientifically that it literally, in trials, has stopped viruses in its tracks. So again, cancer, AIDS, and I'll answer sickle cell at the same time. Sickle cell is sickle cell anemia. It means that there's an anemia, so the cells are sickling. I've watched individuals change their dietary, start getting their exercise, sunlight to strengthen the body, put in good living foods and good living juices and so forth and supplements, and I've watched the cells to start trying to straighten out. The person may have the trait, may always have the trait for sickle cell, but they don't necessarily have to go through the symptoms if they strengthen the body to where it can start strengthening even the sickle cells back out, folks.
Okay, we have a question. It says sickle cell, hold on, it's moving so quickly, hold on. Sickle cell is not acquired, though you are born with it. And then it said, ask him, are masks necessary during this time for medical reasons? I don't know.
Say again now?
Okay, they had, okay, let's see. Okay, there's a couple questions. There's one that says, what about a person with scoliosis? And then the other question is, cell is not acquired, though you are born with it. So I'm not sure what the question is. But.
Oh, well, they're just saying, I was just telling them about acquired immune deficiency. I just let them know that all sicknesses and diseases can only overtake the body because of a lowered immune system, okay? At birth, the mother might have had a low immune system, might have passed it on to the child, but it still had to do with a lowered immune system where everybody would have sickle cell. So bottom line, it's scientific that only a body that has a lowered immune system, you've got a deficiency of minerals of some type or another that are needed in the body for the body organs to function properly. If these are not there, then disease, dis-ease can creep in. And yes, you can be born with lots of things, but the body, you don't have to suffer with the symptoms. The trait may always be there because you were born with it, but you cannot have to suffer with the systems if you strengthen the body, the symptoms, I'm sorry, if you strengthen the body to where it can actually do its fighting. And it can do that if you give it these supplements, these formulas that are proven to give the body what it doesn't have. You think about it, if the person's probably not eating right, probably has never eaten all of the live foods that they should have been eating all of their life. So you know, if you're not giving an automobile the right octane of fuel and the right weight of oil over a long period of time, you're going to wear that car down. That car will wear out in 70,000, 100,000 miles. But cars are designed to run 400,000 miles if you give them what the manufacturer tells you to give them. So here we're talking about the fruits, the nuts, the grains, the vegetables, the things that God designed for man in the beginning to eat. And there were no George Foreman grills and microwave ovens in the beginning. So therefore, they ate most of their food live. I'm not saying you got to become a vegan and eat all live food. I'm simply saying that you need to eat more live food to help strengthen the body. And while you're getting better on your dietary, you take the Sanki Fit system with its nanotechnology and all of its metabolites and antioxidants. And it's like putting in mega foodstuffs immediately so the body can begin to strengthen. It doesn't matter whether you've got multiple sclerosis. I've got a son that's got cerebral palsy, and they said he was supposed to die at birth. He was born 4 months early. I had to deliver him at home emergency-wise until they got there. He was right at a pound. And they said that we should cut him off of the ventilator. And I said, no, let's give him a little time. And basically, that was 23 years ago. His name is Hezekiah. Like Hezekiah in the Bible, he was given 15 years plus another 8. Are y'all listening to me? All I'm saying is he was vegan at birth. We did everything for him. We had formulas and things for him from birth till now. And they said he would never live, and he's alive. He's 23. So what I'm saying to you is that the body is designed to heal itself regardless of what the disease is, as long as you give it the foodstuffs and the healing agents and modalities that it takes for the body to do its own job, which is to heal itself.
One of the last questions before we close off is from Estella. She said, how does the system work to strengthen the nervous system? And guys, just so that you know, after this one, we have to just close it down for our next call at 12 o'clock. So that's the next question.
Okay. The nervous system, again, the nerves, all of the body organs do their function based on having the right amount of nutrition, not food, but nutrition. Nutrition comes from living foods. That's vegetables and fruits that are not cooked, not destroyed, okay? So we need more salads, more fruits with every meal that we eat. And then again, that's what the Sanki Fit system is designed to do, is to give you these nutrients, to give you these antioxidants, to give you these metabolites and enzymes through the supplemental form, which goes straight into the immune system, straight into the microcellular wall, straight into the blood, and straight into the blood-brain barrier. So what this means is that through the neurotransmission, you will actually, it goes to the nerves, feeds the nerves, strengthens the nerves so that they can start getting better. So it doesn't matter what the whole thing is, we have a lack of nutrition in the body. And the Sanki Fit system is designed to literally do that. Give the body the nutrition, the minerals, the vitamins, the metabolites, the antioxidants that it needs to heal itself, even with a nervous situation. The nerves need nutrition. They don't need just food. And since most of us are not doing that, we must supplement that with something that's going to give it what it needs, give the body what it needs. And that is what the Sanki Fit system has been designed to do with its nanotechnology. All of its metabolites, all of its antioxidants go straight into the body at the microcellular level, straight in, and immediately begin to give the body what it needs so that it can heal itself. It's like giving an old car the right octane of fuel, the right weight of oil, the right amount of water in the radiator, and the right number of cranks, okay, to get it to crank, and the car will run like a brand new money, and so will your body begin to reverse, recover, and restore itself.
Well, Dr. Franco, we want to say thank you so much again. It's always an honor to have you on the medical panel.
Let me cut in for just a second.
Go ahead.
Folks, wear your masks. Wear your mask when you go out. Not halfway, but all the way. Wear your mask, folks. Take care of yourself and your family. You might be so strong that you just carry the disease. But just like streptococcus and staphylococcus yeast, that stuff's on us all the time. But our body develops an immunity to it, most people. So the same thing with this virus. It might be on you. You might be strong enough to fight it off, but you might carry it, bring it home to your family. So wear your mask, take your shoes off when you come home, take those clothes and put them in a bag or something so they can be washed. And just take care of yourselves, folks. Thanks again.
Like I said, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Franco. It's always an honor to serve at your feet and to learn. Guys, y'all have to understand this panel is for us as distributors to learn about the products. And I know Dr. Franco sometimes probably gets tired of us asking the same question, but he is so humbled. And so it's such an honor just to hear him repeat himself over and over again with such an amazing voice. So we want to say thank you and that we honor you for your service to Sanki Global and being our medical physician. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And guys, we have our 12 o'clock Lifestyle Connect coming up in 2 minutes. So get your prospects on, and we will have a phenomenal leader and our corporate leader presenting today and again at 9 o'clock again. So thank you guys so much, and see you again in 2 minutes. So have a good one, my friends.